My husband said he was working late. That was the first lie, not the biggest one or cruelest one. Just the first one I finally caught. His name was Andrew, and I'm Julia. And for almost 9 years, I believed my husband's late nights meant responsibility, pressure, deadlines. A man trying to keep our life stable. That was the version I told myself, and that was the version he let me believe. Quarter end is killing me, he would say. I just need a few more hours at the office. Don't wait up. So I stopped waiting at the dinner table. Then I stopped reheating his food. Then I stopped asking what time he would be home. That is how distance enters a marriage. This is file number 011. My husband said he was working late, but his car was at her house. The night I found out, it was raining. Not dramatic rain. Not movie rain. Just a cold, steady rain that made the streetlights look blurry and tired. Andrew texted me at 8:16 p.m. Still at the office. Huge mess with the Henderson account. I'll be late. I was standing in the kitchen, staring at a pot of soup I had made because he said his stomach had been bothering him. The kind of small care you give someone when you still think you are on the same side. I texted back, "Do you want me to bring you some?" He replied almost immediately, "No, don't. I'll eat here." That bothered me. Not because he refused, because he refused too quickly. A month earlier, I would have ignored that feeling. A year earlier, I would have called it paranoia. But by then, too many small things had begun stacking up. His phone facing down. His password changed. His shirts going straight into the laundry. His new habit of showering the moment he got home. And one name I had started hearing too often. Elise? Elise Ward. She was a consultant at his company. That was how he introduced her. Consultant. Efficient, smart, and recently divorced. Of course she was recently divorced. People always add that detail as if it explains why a woman keeps texting your husband after midnight. I met Elise once. At a company dinner. She wore a green dress, laughed softly at Andrew's jokes, and touched his arm like she was testing whether I was watching. I was. She smiled at me all night. That was the part one remembered later. Not the dress. Not the laugh. The smile. The kind of smile that says, "I know something you do not." At 8:41, I put the soup in a container. I told myself I was being kind. I told myself I was bringing my husband dinner. But some deeper part of me already knew I was bringing myself to the truth. I drove to Andrew's office. The building was almost empty. The lobby lights were on, but the third floor was dark. His floor. Dark. I sat in the parking lot with the wipers moving back and forth, looking at his assigned parking space. Empty. At first, my mind tried to help him. Maybe he parked around back. Maybe he went to pick up files. Maybe he stepped out for coffee. Then my phone buzzed. It was not a message from Andrew. It was a notification from the car app. We had installed it the year before, after his car was broken into. A safety feature. A little map showing where the vehicle last parked. I had forgotten I still had access. The notification said, "Vehicle parked. Willow Lane." I stared at the screen. Willow Lane was not near his office. It was 23 minutes away. In a neighborhood with quiet townhouses, private driveways, and people who probably did not expect wives to sit outside in the rain holding soup. I tapped the map. I knew that address. From Elise's company profile. A month earlier, Andrew had asked me to mail a client gift because he was too busy, and the contact sheet was still in our drawer. Elise Ward, 14, Willow Lane. My husband was not working late. His car was parked at her house. I do not remember deciding to drive there. I just remember arriving. The rain had slowed. The street was quiet. And there it was. Andrew's black sedan, parked in her driveway like it belonged there. Not down the street. Not hidden. Not somewhere he could pretend was coincidence. In her driveway. The passenger side was under the porch light. I could see the dent near the rear bumper. The one he got backing into our mailbox 2 summers earlier. I could see the little blue parking sticker from our vacation in Maine still stuck to the windshield. Our car. Our life. At her house. I parked across the street and turned off my headlights. For a long time, I did nothing. I did not cry. I did not scream. I did not knock on her door. I just sat there with my hands on the steering wheel while the soup cooled in the passenger seat. Then the front door opened. Andrew stepped out first. No tie. Sleeves rolled. Hair damp like he had just washed his face or stepped out of a shower. Elise stood behind him in the doorway. Barefoot. Wearing an oversized gray sweater. His sweater. I knew it because I bought it. Christmas, 2 years before. It still had a tiny pull near the collar from when our cat got her claw stuck in it. Elise reached up and touched his face. He kissed her hand. Not her mouth. Somehow that hurt more. A kiss can be hunger. A hand kiss is tenderness. I took one photo. Then another. Not because I wanted evidence. Because I knew if I went home with only my memory, he would try to make me doubt it. If you are enjoying this file, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps us to bring more stories to you. It really helps the channel grow. Andrew drove away at 10:07 p.m. I followed at a distance I hated myself for knowing how to keep. He went to a gas station. Then he came home. I was already there. The soup was still on the counter. Cold. He walked in at 10:39. He looked tired. That was the performance. A man exhausted from work. A man carrying the weight of imaginary deadlines. Hey, he said. I looked up from the kitchen table. How was the Henderson account? He loosened his tie. A tie he had not been wearing when he left Elise's house. Brutal. I nodded. Still at the office the whole time? He hesitated. Less than a second. But once trust breaks, every pause becomes a witness. Mostly, he said. Mostly. That was the first crack in the second lie. I placed my phone on the table. Screen up. The photo of his car in Elise's driveway. His face changed so fast, I almost felt embarrassed for him. Not guilty. Caught. There is a difference. He looked at the photo. Then at me. Julia. I said, don't. Just one word. He stopped. I asked, how long? He sat down slowly. That answered part of it. People who have nothing to confess do not sit like their knees have failed. It's not what you think. I almost smiled. Because that sentence must come in a handbook somewhere. Not what you think. As if what I thought was unreasonable. As if his car at another woman's house, his sweater on her body, and his lies in my phone required interpretation. I asked again. How long? He looked at the table. 5 months. I closed my eyes. 5 months. 5 months of me folding his laundry while he carried the smell of another woman home on his skin. I said, "Did she know about me?" He looked insulted by the question. That was almost funny. She knows I'm married. She knows you are married, I repeated. Not, she knows about me. Not, she respects our marriage. Just the legal fact. He reached for my hand. I moved back. Do not touch me with the hand you kissed hers with. His face broke then. Maybe from shame. Maybe because he realized I had seen more than the car. He started talking. Too fast. That is what liars do when silence becomes dangerous. He said it started as friendship. He said Elise understood the pressure at work. He said he felt invisible at home. He said we had become roommates. I let him talk. Because sometimes the excuses tell you more than the confession. He did not say he was sorry first. He explained himself first. That told me everything. The next morning, he promised it was over. By noon, I knew it was not. Not because I was clever. Because Elise texted him while he was in the shower. His phone lit up on the counter. I did not need the password. The preview was enough. She saw the car? 3 words. Not, are you okay? Not, I'm sorry. She saw the car? I took a photo of the screen. Then I took another of the car app. Then another of the contact sheet with Elise's address. Then I opened a folder on my laptop. At first, I named it Andrew. Then I deleted that. I created a new folder. File number 011. After that, I stopped arguing and started collecting. The car app history. Photos. Text previews. Gas station receipts. Parking records from his office garage. There were nights he claimed to be at work when his badge had never opened the building door. There were calls to Elise during our anniversary dinner. There was a hotel bar charge on a night he said he was helping his brother move. The lies had not been random. They had a route. Office. Gas station. Willow Lane. Home. Again and again. A loop. A marriage being driven in circles. I met with a lawyer named Dana Reeves. She was calm in a way that made me feel less insane. I slid the folder across her desk. She opened it and read quietly. Looked at the photos. Then she said, "You were smart not to confront her." I wanted to. I know. I still do. Dana closed the folder gently. Let the file speak before your anger does. That became my rule. Let the file speak. 2 weeks later, Andrew tried to convince me to go to counseling. He brought brochures. He cried. He said he had made the worst mistake of his life. I asked, which part was the mistake? He looked confused. Her? No. I opened the file. Was it the first time you parked there? I placed one photo on the table. Or the second? Another? Or the night you told me the Henderson account was killing you? Another. Or the text where she asked if I saw the car? His face went pale. He whispered, "You have all of that?" I said, "Enough." He stared at the folder like it was a person in the room. Maybe it was. The honest one. The divorce did not happen overnight. Nothing real ever does. Andrew moved into a corporate apartment. Elise disappeared from his stories. Then from his office, according to someone who still felt loyal enough to tell me. He said he ended it. I believed him and did not believe him. Both can be true when love is dying. There were nights I missed him so badly, I had to sit on my hands not to text. There were mornings I hated him so cleanly, it felt like energy. Grief is not one emotion. It is a crowded room. But the file helped. Not because it made me angry, because it kept me honest. Every time memory tried to soften him, the file reminded me of the driveway. The sweater. The hand kiss. The lie he walked through our door wearing. When the papers were signed, Andrew cried in the hallway outside the mediator's office. "I never stopped loving you," he said. I looked at the man I had built a life with. And for the first time, I did not need to hurt him back. I only needed to leave. "Maybe," I said. "But you stopped protecting us." That was the last thing I said to him as his wife. For a while, I thought my life had ended in that driveway. 14 Willow Lane. Rain on the windshield. Soup cooling beside me. His car under her porch light. But that was not the end of my life. That was only the end of the version where I ignored myself to keep someone else comfortable. A month after the divorce, I sold the house. Not because I hated it, because every room still knew how to wait for him. I moved into a smaller place with morning light, white walls, and no garage door to listen for. The first night there, I ate soup from a mug while sitting on the floor. Chicken soup. Fresh bread. Just for me. I cried. Then I laughed. Not because I was healed. Because I had made dinner for myself and nobody had lied about coming home to it. Small things become sacred after betrayal. A quiet phone. Clean sheets. A locked door. A Sunday morning where no one is pretending to be at work. I kept file number 011 in a box for 6 months. Then one day, I opened it. The photos still hurt, but they did not control the room anymore. I placed them back inside, sealed the box, and wrote one word across the top. Closed. His car was at her house. But my life did not stay parked there. I moved forward, slowly and honestly. My life, mine again. Another file closed. Another secret exposed. If you enjoyed this file, leave a like and subscribe to the Eris Files. It really helps the channel grow. Every betrayal leaves a file.